Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. As always, my name is Brian Hussar, and this is where I talk about my loves of the Beatles, music, movies, and musical theater. Haven't done too much on the musical theater front there in a long time. That may change when that's coming up. I know Andrew Lloyd Webber's School of Rock is closing on Broadway, and it was an excellent run. So, there you go. But this is my unedited thoughts on what I want for a 50th anniversary release of the White Album. And here's an original copy that I own on vinyl. My number is A1630145. A stands for America. So this is, I'm not going to figure which version this is. I know some people collect every single number in the world. I got this in the 90s at the Fest for Beatle fans. At the time, it was still called Beatle Fest in Chicago at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. I got this for $50. This was a good deal, you know, and it's got everything in there. It's got the poster, and it does have. I hate digging deep in these things. The giveaway photos as well, as you can see there. And I also do have the 2009 stereo and mono remasters from the box sets there, the CD box sets, as well as the 2012 vinyl reissue of the stereo and the 2014 vinyl reissue of the mono as well. The mono is numbered, actually. So what do I want for a 50th anniversary release of the White Album? Now, let me state, unedited, this is happening. If any of you guys are fans of the podcast Fab Four Free For All, and if any of you are on their Facebook page, Mitchell Axelrod did say that this is happening. So if you're aware, there was supposed to be a Revolver box set in 2016 that was announced to people that were in the know. They were at an Apple meeting, and Apple, the Beatles company, Apple Corps, gave a list of upcoming releases, and one of them was going to be a Revolver box set. That never happened. 2016 came and went, and all we got was the 8 Days a Week documentary and the Hollywood Bowl reissue to coincide with the 8 Days a Week documentary. But last year with the Sgt Pepper box set, I think they hit it out of the park. I did a review of it. The mono mix of Sgt Pepper is the mix, but the new 2017 stereo mix that Giles Martin did, that's been my go-to for a year. Finally, I have a stereo mix, as I said in my review, where I could put the headphones on and be lost in a world. As the original stereo mix, 1967 stereo mix, you know, as I got older, it got frustrating when I started hearing more and more albums that were conceived in stereo. You know, yes, people love the whole period aspect of it with the vocals here and instrumentation here, but the original stereo mix of Sgt Pepper was massively hard panned, and I demonstrated that when I talked about the original stereo mix of Lucy. Vocals here, and you have in headphones. So the way I listen to it in headphones, so you have on the left channel all your rhythm instruments here and just your guitar in this channel. Very weird stereo mix on that, but that's a different topic. But anyways, they hit it out of the park. The 5.1 mix of that, if you have a surround system, that was a trip in itself. Having the sound collage effects at the end of Mr. Kite traveling around the room. So they rose the bar high for a White Album box set. I did hear that there is going to be a new stereo mix in the box set. I would assume done by Giles. They really haven't officially announced anything yet. The White Album came out in England November 22nd of 1968. And so my assumption is going to be they're going to make an announcement sometime in October. This is just me assuming. They'll probably make the official announcement sometime in October. Like they did with Sgt. Pepper, they made the announcement in April, and then it came out May 23rd at Lev last year, I think it was. I forgot the date last year. So the release date of the White Album in England was November 22nd. And November 22nd is Thanksgiving this year. And since new music releases come out on Fridays now, November 23rd is Black Friday. Imagine the promotional, the promotion, White Album on Black Friday. White and black. Think of what they can do with that. So my assumption would be a Black Friday release. November 23rd. I can only assume. But what do I want? New stereo mix, even though the original 68 stereo mix, they did pay attention to stereo by this point. But a lot of the tracks, with the exception of Revolution Number 9, were mixed in mono first. And then they paid attention to the stereo mixes towards the end. Both John Paul and engineer Ken Scott, especially in that famous 24-hour session they did to sequence and band everything together and crossfade everything together on the album. And they deliberately made the stereo mixes different. But you still had the deal with, drums here and guitars here and sometimes vocals here. The stereo mix of Birthday is a prime example. You have a mono instrumental track, and the vocals with artificial double tracking are in both stereo channels. Be kind of nice to hear that spread out. Could they spread out Ringo's drums? That would be nice. I know they still recorded Ringo's drums on one track. The only stereo mixes of Ringo's drums that I can recall are Get Back and Don't Let Me Down, and of course On the End from Abbey Road. Jeff Emmerich specifically said because he did a drum solo, he put Ringo's drums on 2 tracks so he could do a stereo drum track. But other than that, Abbey Road is still a mono drum track, drums here or drums there, which by that time in 1969 and even in late 68, we started to get stereo drum tracks. Drums spread across the full stereo spectrum there. Take a look at Cream's Wheels of Fire. The first Zeppelin album, Zeppelin 2, the second Blood, Sweat, and Tears album. You got nice, really good stereo drum tracks. Frank Zappa's Hot Rats. So it'd be nice if they could find a way to spread out Ringo's drum tracks. So, new stereo mix would be nice. A new 5.1 mix would be nice. Only Revolution Number 9 was exclusively mixed in stereo at that point. The mono of Revolution Number 9 is a fold down. Be nice to hear that in 5.1. And as far as bonus stuff, I would like the full 11-minute version of Revolution 1. Maybe if they could talk Macca parting with the full 30-minute version of Helter Skelter, that would be awesome. The King Fuzz demos. As you know, George, John, and Paul went to George's house before recording the album, and they demoed a whole bunch of songs. And they've been bootlegged to death. You heard some of them on Anthology 3, so to get them in upgraded sound quality would be totally nice. Maybe a newly mixed editions of those would be nice. Somebody had pointed out this would be nice if we could get a demo recording of John doing Good Night. That would be great. Of course, I'd like a lot of session stuff there. A lot of session stuff. Hey Jude and Revolution would have to be on there as bonus tracks, just like Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane were on the Sgt. Pepper box as well as the 2-disc edition, because they were recorded at that time. So to have them as a bonus would be a nice plus. But I would also like session recordings of the spoken word stuff that John and George did during Revolution Number 9. That would be nice to hear how those sessions actually were. So that would be great. So new stereo mix, new 5.1 in Dolby Atmos, Dolby True HD on Blu-ray. Half hour, 30-minute Helter Skelter, 11-minute Revolution Number 9, demo of John doing Good Night, sessions, spoken word sessions of Revolution 9, and the demos that were done at George's house. If they can't get all of them, I would like a good chunk of them, in nice high quality. So that's my dream White Album box set that I hope that is going to be released sometime. Again, I think the announcement will be October, and I'm only speculating. This is just me speculating. But I think it would totally work. Since it originally came out in the UK November 22nd of 68, and since that's Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, Friday. That's when new music is released anyways. That's Black Friday. The White Album on Black Friday. I could just imagine the promotional ideas they could have with that. So, that's my take. And going on 11 minutes here. Sorry about that. Thank you. And until we meet again.